Espresso Vibe. Thanks for joining me today. So I just got this new setup all configured at my office. For those of you that don't know me very well, I run a small business out of St. Louis, and I run an office. Me and the family live down in southern Missouri, but I come up here twice a week, and it quickly became apparent that I need a really cool coffee setup for the office too. So my company invested, and we got the Flair 58 Plus. I got a good deal on it on Facebook Market. It had only been used a couple of times, and I got a couple $100 off the value, which I thought was pretty cool. I also got a ratio 6 drip machine and an Fellow Ode Gen 1 with the SSP multi-purpose burrs. I've had this part for like a few weeks now. I've had these two, and I've been loving them. I'm going to do a video where we're pulling some, or not pulling shots, where we're brewing some drip coffee on the ratio 6. But my passion in coffee in general is espresso. So I've been really excited exploring this Flair 58 Plus, and that's the main focus of this video, is I want to show you guys the workflow on it and kind of explain where it's been a little bit difficult for me, actually. I'm loving it, but wow, it is a big difference compared to the decent XL that I'm used to running at home. The workflow on this is darn complicated indeed. You got to time it all out just perfect. So I've got it preheated right now. We're on level 3 on the Flair 58 Plus preheat. And that is generally what they consider for light roasts. Now that I think about it, we're going to pull a dark roast. We're pulling some Colombian dark, which dark roast is pretty new to me, but I have been helping roast coffee at a coffee roaster in Ironton called Arcadia Valley Coffee Roasters. And they're taking me on and apprenticing me as a roaster, and it's going to be a new side job for me. That being said, they gave me some dark beans for free, and they're pretty good. So we're going to pull some shots on some dark roast. You might be able to hear the sound over here. I've already got some water boiling, because the way this works is like, so you preheat this thing first, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it down to like level 2, I think, instead, because I've had it on level 3. But you preheat this thing. The higher the temperature you preheat it to is related to like the lighter roast your beans are. That's why I'm bringing it down a little bit. I've been doing it at 3 because I've been pulling mostly light roast beans up till this point. But we're going to do a dark roast, so I'll go ahead and put it on 2. And we've got our portafilter. The tricky part of the process has been the portafilter. So it's kind of warm, but it's not super, super warm. I feel like for a dark roast, this might be fine, but with a light roast, it's not. You know, I don't think it is. So I've been like dipping the portafilter in hot water right before I grind the beans. And like, wow, I am not used to the workflow at all. So that being said, we're going to preheat our cup. The portafilter should be sufficiently preheated. And then we're going to grind some beans in the niche. And I'll pull the camera up, and you guys can watch me pull the shot, and we'll watch the pressure gauge, and we'll see what comes out. So I've already got the water boiling. Let me go ahead and grab it. Actually, I guess I'll keep it on, in case we pull a second one. So I've got the gooseneck kettle here. Let's warm our cup up a little bit so we don't have any temperature loss right when we pull our shot. And then I think everything else is warmed up. So I'll throw this back on the flame for a second. I've tried bringing a lot of my tools over here, the extras that I have from the home espresso setup, but I don't have everything yet. So like I'm gonna have to grind straight into that without the collar, I think they call it. All right, let's get grinding. Let's get some beans flowing. Let's make some espresso. I don't have a dosing cup, do I? Oh, darn. I'll get one. Here we go. So let's go ahead and weigh out some beans here. We're going to do 18-gram shots. So we got 18 grams. We're going to throw this into the niche. I don't have an RDT drop. I don't have a bottle here for RDT. So what I'll do is I'll dip my finger in this hot water and burn myself a little bit, and then just sprinkle just a couple of drops in there. That way we've got a little bit of ability to combat the static that's going to form. So I'm going to get my portafilter out, and I'm going to do everything really quick once we start this. So I'm actually, darn it, I'm going to need a timer, aren't I? And I don't even have a timer. All right, and the timer's on the phone. Okay, well, alas, we're going to do it without a timer. I'm going to try to pull a shot blind, and we'll see where we go. Unless I have another phone. Let me see. I'll be right back, my friends. Let me go grab this. I think I've got a timer on here. Let me see if I can find it. Clock. Oh yeah, stopwatch. Perfect. Okay, that takes some stress away. So let's go ahead and grind some beans, and then we're going to be ready to time our shot. Without the shot collar, I find you got to really play with the grinds as they fall into here, or it's going to overflow. So I'm taking a WDT and just poking around a little bit. I'm definitely going to have a shot collar. By the time I do another video at the office, I will have the shot collar, because this is a little bit crazy. Or the portafilter collar. Because it definitely gets everywhere. It's good looking grinds though. The Niche Zero does its job well. At home I've got the Decent XL and the Monolith Max, but I was not anywhere near ready to invest in another very, very expensive setup for the office. One very, very expensive setup is enough. This WDT tool has really wide, they're really thick diameter. I'm not as used to these, and I am not really liking it as much. It doesn't declump nearly as well, but it gets the job done. So we're going to distribute just a little bit here while being relatively quick. Tap down. And then let's go ahead and tamp with the, I do like the tamper that the Flair 58 Plus came with. It's nice. It's like a wood top on it. Okay. And then we're going to throw puck screen on top. Get this in the machine. And my scale doesn't fit on top of the drip tray. It's definitely designed for like an acai or a kaya or whatever it is scale. And I have that at home, but we don't have that here. So we're going to just do what we can. All right, my cup is warm. Machine is ready. Let's tear the cup. Let's get the stopwatch ready to go. This is the part you got to be very quick on playing with the Flair 58. So we're taking this. We're going in. Dang, that's hot. We're filling up to the very top. All right. And the timer starts after we go up and then back down a little bit. So, because right now when I pull up, no water is getting to the coffee, but it's ready to add pressure. So now here we are. I'm coming down, and we're already getting a drip, so I'm going to just stop it right here. That means I probably got to go way more fine. I'm going to let it pre-infuse, all right, and now we're coming in. We're going to go in a little harder. We're going to shoot for, oh no, that's a gusher. Oh no, because we're already up to 36, and we're at 21 seconds here. That is way too fast, huh? So 25 seconds with that pre-infusion. I'm not liking that. Not liking that one bit. And this is where the workflow of the Flair 58 gets so kind of crazy and stressful for me. Is like with the Decent, you get one thing wrong, you pop your puck out, rinse it out, and you're back ready for action. With this, it is kind of complicated. So they recommend you get all the water out. So you run the shot down here into the drip tray. Okay. So no big deal, but gosh, it makes a mess. And here we are. All right, go ahead and get this off. it does come out pretty good. The screen always falls out, and the puck comes out pretty clean. So that part of the cleanup is not so bad. I got a sink right here. I'm gonna rinse it real quick. Rinse our screen out real quick. And we're gonna do one more shot. I'm gonna make it way, way, way more fine this time, because there's no way that this is gonna be satisfactory. It's an all right smell. It's an all right smell. Let's see here. Let's get this drip tray thing out of here. Get that back in there for just a second. Reset our timer. Let's get our beans weighed out again. And for those of you that are joining after, I'm going to probably cut this video down and cut out some of the extras, and then I will upload it to the video, or upload it to the channel. So if you guys are watching, or you're seeing it for a second and then you're stepping out, you can always come back later and watch the whole thing. So I'm going down 2 notches on the Niche Zero. We were at 12 and now we're down to 10. All right. Got a couple other cups. I'm going to go ahead and preheat one of these. All right, everything's ready to go. This guy's not very warm. I'll go ahead and show you guys how I do the preheating on this, just so you can have some reference for it, in case you find yourself using a Flair 58. So I'm just pouring the hot kettle water right over it into this, and it very quickly gets it up to heat. We still got almost enough. Let's add some more water in here. Turn the heat up there. So our portafilter is good to go. I'm going to leave that in for just a minute. We'll sip on this shot and see what we got from our first round here. I follow the James Hoffman protocol of always stirring your espresso. He says swirling is not sufficient. I don't have a spoon here, so we're going for the half Hoffman swirl. The half Hoffman legitimate Zach of Espresso Vibe swirl technique. Yeah, it's not bad actually. It's not bad. Chocolatey, some cherry tones, real good thick mouthfeel, good body to it. Something I've definitely noticed is that the Flair 58 Plus is definitely giving me a more strong mouthfeel to the shots compared to the Decent XL and the Monolith Max with SSW burrs. Those SSW burrs are so incredibly clarity focused that it takes so much of the body out of it. And I love the clarity. Love my clarity shots. But I've been really enjoying what this is doing. This is nice and chocolatey. Like a caramel sweetness, definitely from the roast. That's good. That's surprising good. I'm disappointed in myself for declaring that a bad shot so quickly. What an amateur move. Because that took it said 25 seconds total, and I gave it about 10 seconds of pre-infusion. But just our pressure never got up high. We were at like 3 or 4 bars the whole time. That's generally not enough, but the shot's not bad. So we're gonna grind 2 settings more fine this time. I'm gonna get the shot prepared as quickly as possible, and we're gonna go right back in and see if this next one is better. All right. Try to get it going kind of quick here. I'm going to level it off with my hand just a little bit because my WDT is like not that great. The thing is with the wide diameter tips, it kind of stirs it too much. You know, that's why I've been kind of like stabbing it with this, like acupuncture style, rather than doing the circles. I'm doing a little bit of the circles, but I feel like too many of the circles is not good right now because it just throws the coffee around so incredibly much with those big needles. All right, coming in with another tamp. As always with espresso extraction, you really want to keep your variables as consistent as possible. So I'm trying to tamp with right around the same pressure. I'm trying to do the WDT pretty similarly. The more that we can keep it consistent, the more we're going to be able to anticipate the trajectory of the next shot and adjust our variables appropriately. All right, pour our hot water out. See, as you guys can see, you might be bored from the video with how lengthy the time is in between these shots. But this is kind of my point in making this, is like I want to show off how cool this is, but also like know what you're getting yourself in for. If you're used to doing espresso on a semi-automatic, you know, traditional machine, know that you're getting yourself in for quite a task. If this is your daily thing, your daily espresso driver, it's a process, guys. It's really a process. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's get our timer. All right. Everything's tared. This mirror I did not get in a very good position because it keeps slipping. I need to tighten the little bolt on it. Okay, so we're coming up, and then we're going to begin our timer right now. Coming down, down, down until I see a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing it start to form in the shot, so I'm going to sit. I'm going to let it pre-infuse for just a few seconds, and then we're going straight in. And I'm hoping for a closer to a traditional shot pressure. Okay, so we're at 6 bars here. Still coming in pretty quick, but let's go ahead. I'm going to go all the way in till 36. All right. That's a 40-gram shot there, a little bit more than I wanted. But it was at 24 seconds. So honestly, very similar to the last one. It was less of a gusher, but it was still a lot quicker than I thought. And with a light roast, this would be a disaster. This would be way over extract, or it would be like very overly bright with a light roast, because when you don't run enough water over it or let it take enough time, it seems like you get all the bright notes and none of the sweetness and nothing that rounds the shot. It's actually pretty good looking though. Let me see if I can get it in the video. Yeah, it's some good crema on that one actually. So even though it was pretty quick, it's yeah, it might be all right. Let's sip on our first one a couple more. Good. Just a little too much punch to it. I'm sure if I got this same shot to come out over an extra 5 seconds, it would be a little bit more rounded. Let's do another one here. Oh, spilled it everywhere. Did the Espresso Vibe swirl spilling technique there. We'll go ahead and run the rest of the pressure out through this. I think most people do it onto a cup rather than onto the little tiny rubber drip tray, but hey, it is what it is. My setup's not complete yet. Oh, this one's definitely better. This one's definitely better. It's got more complexity to it. Something bright, like more of the I'm not sure how to describe it. Let me see side by side. The acidity is like very clean and bright. This one, it's too bright. I can definitely see that this shot went in the right direction compared to this one. But honestly, Could maybe pull one more. I just don't want this video to be too long. But nobody's even watching anyways. My channel doesn't have many subscribers, so I will upload it and clean up the stuff. We'll go ahead and pull one more, and we'll see if we can't get something much better. So let's pull the grind down 2 more. So we're going all the way to 8 this time. And we're gonna go straight back to heating our portafilter inside of this cup. Not the most fun workflow, but it does get the job done. All right, we will let this warm over here. We're gonna sip on our better shot. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I've always been a fan of the dark roast and the mediums and all of that stuff. Like, I'm not biased. I'm not overly biased. I just prefer the light roast and the third wave pursuits. But overall, these are great. I'm gonna wipe the underside of this a little bit. I feel like with using the puck screen every time, there's really never any debris up on the actual machine, which is pretty cool. It seems like it's designed pretty well. Making a huge mess on our niche over here. You might not be able to tell, but huge freaking mess. All right, 18 grams. Let's do it. Take a drop or two of the water, stir it in there. All right, our portafilter is hot, is good to go. Let's turn the heat up on this. Make sure our water is good and boiling. Let's warm up our next cup. I'll use the rest of this water. And let's grind some beans. Whew, that's a tall mountain of coffee. Oh my gosh. All right. Get it in there with my hand a little bit. As you can tell, I'm still figuring out the workflow of this thing. I'm not to the point of like perfecting the shots and making sure there's zero channeling and all that. I love the fact that this machine is capable of allowing you to dial it in that much. And, you know, controlling the pressure and all that. It's awesome. I'm stoked for the adventure. But, man, right now I'm still in, like, scrambling to get a decent shot mode on this. Because, like I have said, I'm used to using the Decent XL. And it is I love my Decent machine. It's very easy to get consistent espresso out of that guy. All right, so we're tamping again. Not pushing too hard with my tamp, just enough to compact it. Throw our screen back in. I saw some people talking about preheating the screen itself. Like, I guess that's probably would help, but it seems a little bit overkill because it's such a small piece of metal. But with a light roast, I could see maybe that is important to do. Yeah, good, but as it's cooling, you can really tell it's too much going on. It is not rounded and it is not sweet in the way that I want. I'm really hoping this one we get to see I think I'll bring the camera up so you guys can see this one better. You guys don't want to just see me the whole time. Okay, here we go. Turn this heat off. This will be our last shot for today. And we're going with the same sequence as we just did. I'm going in, pouring in the water. All right, and we're keeping our timing in mind here. That water is cooling already. So we're coming up. Water goes down, press start, and we're coming in till I just start seeing the water. Okay, I'm seeing the coffee come down, and we're at like a 2 bar pressure. I like that. That's better. Okay, I'm coming straight down because it's a dark roast. We don't want a long pre-infusion. I'm at 6 bars, 6 bars. Oh, I'm liking that. That's coming out much more how I would want it to come out. Keeping it close to 6 bars. I'm not keeping it perfectly on there though. I'm not like a master of this thing. Keeping it near 6 bars, coming down. We're at 30 seconds and 30-second shot. All right, let's go ahead and stop it. We're at 35. It ended at 34 seconds on the shot, but we had a pre-infusion of maybe like 6 or 7 seconds. So this looks like the ballpark of what I would think for a dark roast. As most of you know, 25 to 30 seconds is kind of the standard for shots without pre-infusion. So if we're going to pre-infuse for like, here, let me stand this back up. If we are doing a pre-infusion for 5 to 10 seconds, we're going to add on a little bit onto that 25 to 30 second range. So I would think if I was pulling on a straight to 9 bar traditional espresso machine, that this dark roast coffee might be in the realm of 25 to 28 seconds for a good extraction. And with that pre-infusion, I'm adding like, let's say 7 seconds onto there, 35-ish. So, it looks like it has serious potential. Let's check out the crema. Let me show you guys what I'm working with. Crema definitely came out better this time. Give a little stir. I'll grab a spoon. Let's do this proper. I'll use the back end of the spoon and stir a little bit. I usually do religiously stir. At home I've got the Cruve glasses, and I love being able to swirl with those Cruve glasses. Yeah, that smells good. It seems more rounded. Let's see what both of these guys are doing while this one cools a little bit. So here's our first shot, and this one was way too coarse. Not horrible, but whew, that's strong. Comes on strong. Too much going on, and not enough of those rounded sweet flavors to bring it together. Let's try shot number 2 here. Much better than that one, but whew, still too forward. Still too forward. And now shot number 3. Okay. It reminds me a lot of the last one. It comes on similarly in my palate. Let me see. It's got a sweetness to it, though. It's got something else on the end of the flavor that feels like it completes it better. Whereas this one starts off feeling kind of good, but the flavor sort of like unzips into something too overbearing. Go shot number 2. Shot number 3. Unzips to something like a nice bouquet of acidity and sweetness balanced. Like I'm getting like nutty sort of tones. Nutty and chocolatey. I guess that's pretty characteristic with dark roast, so nothing too surprising there. I honestly don't do enough dark roast to really discriminate all those flavor tones enough. It was good though. Really, yeah. I mean, this one was good. This one was successful, I would say. I'll have to pull some more and really get a feel for what this machine's capable of and what the perfect timing, extraction recipe is and everything. So let's go ahead and empty this. And then we will close down the shop. Oh gosh, that was scary. I didn't realize how much that almost shot me in the face. That would have been a horrible ending to the video, huh? All right, let's get this out of here. And then we'll say goodbye to you guys and get all of everything cleaned up over here. Thank you for joining me on the Espresso Vibe St. Louis office edition. Excuse me. It's been a lot of fun exploring the Flair 58 Plus and the Niche Zero combo. Maybe at some point, especially if you guys would like me to, I will bring the Monolith Max up here and pair it with the Flair 58 Plus, and we can see, you know, what this machine's capable of when you put a end game flat burr with clarity focus. Because what I think is interesting in closing is that the Flair definitely increases the body and the mouth feel of the shots a lot compared to the Decent and the extraction method of the Decent. Now, conical burrs, like our niche, this is the original Niche Zero here. Conical burrs, the distribution of the grinds generally includes like some more fine particles and some more coarse relative to the grind setting. So that type of particle distribution lends itself to more mouthfeel, more complexity. That's why conical burrs are more of the norm with espresso traditionally. So when you combine this plus this, you've got like endless potential for mouthfeel. Syrupy, thick body, lingers on your tongue. I like it. You know, I like it. And it seems like this is like sort of amplifying the max of that quality. Now, the Decent, you know, you can change all the profiles, so the Decent's kind of complicated, but the Decent, no matter how much you try to produce body in it, it doesn't lend itself to that nearly as much as the lever shots do. That being said, my home setup is Decent plus Monolith, and the Monolith with SSW burrs is incredibly clarity focused. It's much closer to a uniform particle distribution. I think they have some nuance, like they engineered it to have a mix of bigger particles plus some finer particles. So I don't think it's absolutely uniform, but it is highly clarity focused. And I would bet that there's not a whole lot of fine particles relative to the big ones, and that's what's producing that. So if I brought that Monolith Max SSW up here and put it next to this, we could pull shots switching between the two and really see what the Flair 58 Plus is doing. See what it's capable of. Pull the same bean on a conical and on a flat burr. That would really give us a good experiment to see what this machine is capable of. Because when I pair this with this, we're getting double time on the mouthfeel body focus. And if I pair this with my Monolith SSW burr, we're going to have a good balance between high clarity burr plus strong mouthfeel here. And I think that might be wonderful. So that being said, I've got other work to do today, guys. I got to go. I run an herbalism company. It's called Eternity in a Box Botanicals. So got to ship plants. I've got to email customers. I got to run around town and do some errands. But I really appreciate you all joining and sharing this espresso journey with me today, and in the wider scope of enjoying espresso alongside me by subscribing to the Espresso Vibe YouTube channel. I'm super grateful for it, and I'm really enjoying having this be a part of my daily flow. So if you guys like this video, please like and comment and let me know what else you'd like to see. I would love to pretty much throw a live stream on every time I'm up at the office brewing, and we could hone in, we could review new tools, we could, you know, I love wasting my money on coffee stuff. So anytime there's a new piece of equipment, as long as that's within my budgeting, I would be honored to purchase it and share the review with you guys, and we can look at it together, and maybe I can save you from purchasing something that's not quite living up to, the hype. So Flair 58, I don't think is hype. It seems cool, and it's got a lot of potential. I got no complaints about it other than the insane complexity of the workflow. But maybe I'm just a noob to the manual espresso game and the no boilers and all that. I'm not complaining. I'm just, it's a little intimidating how complex that workflow is, though. All right, I will clean this video up and post it in a way that you can all enjoy without so much senseless downtime in the middle. But if you watched live, thank you very much for joining, and I very much appreciate your support. Have a great day. God bless.